Let's now gauge the reaction on Capitol Hill. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He sits on the House Intelligence Committee as well as on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today. First off, I want to get your reaction. What do you make of this designation of David Weiss now as special counsel in the Hunter Biden case?
Well, I think all along the Justice Department and Merrick Garland said to U.S. Attorney Weiss that if he requests that particular designation, he'd be granted it. So I think it's only appropriate that they followed through when he did request it. But I think that it doesn't take away kind of the flaws in the Republicans' arguments with regard to Hunter Biden. And, I had a chance to actually question the whistleblowers who came forward with allegations of wrongdoing in the investigation of Mr. Hunter Biden. And the problem with their fundamental allegations are that the alleged wrongdoing happened at a time when Donald Trump was president, Bill Barr was the attorney general, and of course, Mr. Weiss had been appointed by Donald Trump. And so allegations of political bias don't seem to hold weight when, Mr. Trump was ultimately in charge of the Justice Department and its handling of this investigation.
Do you have confidence that this designation is necessary?
I don't know if it's necessary. I do know that Mr. Weiss has requested it in light of what happened at this hearing recently. But it appears that Mr. Weiss had quite a bit of latitude to pursue the investigation in the manner that he saw fit. Again, my Republican colleagues somehow claim that Hunter Biden's actions reflect poorly on President Biden, that somehow this involves wrongdoing by President Biden, but there isn't a scintilla of evidence to show that President Biden did anything wrong in connection with Hunter Biden. And I think that Mr. Weiss has not surfaced any such evidence because there is none.
Do you think that if this were not the president's son, that this move would be made here?
That's a good point. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that my constituents aren't asking about it. In fact, the other day I heard that Richard Hudson, the head of the National Republican Campaign Committee, said that nobody's talking about it back in his district because this is not top of mind.
I do want to, it is top of mind for a lot of constituents. I mean, we know that. I just want to put that out there. Maybe not yours, but there are many constituents out there who are paying attention to it for sure.
Yeah, and to that point,
I think that there are.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that there's definitely some on the other side who care very much about it. But as Mr. Hudson himself said, it's just not one of their top priorities the way that, jobs, education, and healthcare and other priorities are. I conduct a lot of town hall meetings. This does not come up. And this is really a big distraction right now.
But this was something that might have gone away a little bit quietly, perhaps only among Democrats, if the plea deal had been agreed to and carried out. That's no longer the case. So this promises that this is going to stay in the spotlight for quite some time as the presidential cycle is just ramping up. Politically speaking, sir, as a Democrat who's clearly going to be backing the incumbent Democratic president, are you worried about this dragging out and being what will, getting a lot of attention during the presidential election?
No, I don't think so. Only because of this, which is that my Republican colleagues want to somehow connect Hunter Biden to somehow the president himself committing wrongdoing. Again, not a scintilla of evidence is being brought forward either in the House or otherwise. And so this is going to be a big distraction.
You've seen House Democrats who were investigating Jared Kushner and the Trump children, investigating their business dealings, which obviously appear to be stalled very much right now after Republicans took over the House. Shouldn't Democrats abide by their own principles in the case of Hunter Biden, even if Republicans are not?
I think that the House has the ability, the authority, and they should be able to conduct oversight investigations with regard to the prosecution of anybody, and that's what they're doing. But the manner in which they're doing it is highly problematic. And at the end of the day, remember, Jared Kushner was a member of the government. Hunter Biden is not. And so, again, they're trying to attribute somehow wrongdoing to the president And they can't produce even one piece of evidence to show that. And that's why this is a problematic investigation right now.
But, Congressman, we did hear from two Obama administration officials. They raised concerns to the White House about Hunter Biden's work. That was as far back as 2015, specifically his work in Ukraine. So this has been an ethical issue for quite some time. Do you think that Democrats have not taken it seriously enough?
No, they've taken it seriously. But remember, Mr. Weiss has been investigating this for 5 years. He's been investigating for 5 years. He's investigated even those particular issues that you talked about. And I had a chance to look at some of this evidence in a SCIF or classified setting as well. Unfortunately for the Republicans, again, they cannot produce any kind of evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden, much as they have tried up to this point.
All right, Congressman Rajna Krishnamoorthi, really appreciate your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.